We're here in Monte Carlo for the Rendez-Vous de Septembre. For AM Best TV, I'm Richard Banks. And I'm joined now by Henning Ludolphs, who's Managing Director for Retrocession and Capital Markets at Hannover Re. Henning, welcome.
Thank you.
So Henning, Hannover Re remains pretty much the only major pure pay reinsurer. Why does that approach appeal?
That we do not get into conflict with our clients. Would we have an insurance arm that may compete with the clients we have as a reinsurer, and we simply don't want to have this. And since the setup of Hannover Re about 6 years ago, we have worked on that basis. It has worked fine. We do not plan to change this.
How well has the reinsurance industry managed the hard market?
I think they have managed well because they have shown underwriting discipline. It's not just the reinsurance industry, also the ILS markets. They have also shown underwriting discipline. And I think this is very important because the last 10 years, a lot of the years were not so good for many participants and not so good for the reinsurance industry overall. And we have to see sustainable performance. Even if this year becomes good, 1 year is not yet sustainable. So we need to show longer-term performance to make sure that the capital stays with the industry, insurance, reinsurance and ILS, and if we need more capital, to get more capital.
So that's interesting. Tell us a little bit about investor appetite for reinsurance risk in general.
I think fairly much stable, a little bit more. I would not see a big rush of investor capital into the market. It will be a bit more, and I think it has also to do with the fact that many investors say, we may have seen one good year, but we want to see more good years. So maybe in numbers, maybe around 5 billion more coming into the insurance-linked securities market. I will not be able to say whether a lot of capital goes into the reinsurance industry, but I don't think we will have a game-changing move of capital this year.
So this year, in January 1 renewals,
yes.
talk of a slightly disorderly renewal season. Is that what we can expect this time around in next year?
A lot depends on what the loss scenarios are. If we have huge losses, it's a totally different situation. If we have no losses, again, it's a different scenario. That's very difficult to forecast. I'm a strong believer in the reinsurance industry anyway, but also in the ILS business. And long term, I'm sure there will be more ILS money coming to the business, whether this is now next year or in 2 years, but it will come.
So that's interesting. Let's talk about the ILS market. There does seem to be some disagreement as to the current state of the ILS market and the current opportunities. Tell us a little bit about where you see the opportunities.
Catastrophe bonds have gone reasonably well over the last 2 years, but the events over the last year simply have not hit the cat bond market that much. Maybe it's a bit of good luck as well. I personally think that all ways of ILS, meaning catastrophe bonds, collateralized reinsurance, will have their good years and will both grow over time.
Henning, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
It was a pleasure.
For AM Best TV, I'm Richard Banks.